representing points of intersection. And we're going to answer the question, how can I represent intersections? So we're just going to split it up over 2 days. Day 1, we're going to make a goal to get through 24 to 27. Day 2, tomorrow, we're going to make a goal to get through 28 and 29. And the objective is to determine points of intersection using multiple representations. Throughout this course, you will represent equations and functions in several different ways, and you will make connections between the various representations. How can these connections help you understand more about systems of equations? In this lesson, you will make connections among the did I just say the same thing? Okay. You will make connections among the multiple representations of a system of equations. Problem 63. An action movie is being filmed at the Perrine Bridge in Twin Falls, Idaho. The hero of the movie, Winono Homer, leaps off the bridge over the Snake River and then pulls a parachute to slow his fall. To avoid risk, the director will use computer-generated imagery, CGI, for this scene. The animators must create an accurate model of the jump and descent to make the scene look realistic. Okay. Before he pulls the parachute, Winono's path can be modeled by the equation h equals negative 4.9 t squared plus t plus 148. Highlight that equation because you're going to need it. The height above the Snake River is represented by h in meters and t in seconds is the amount of time of his jump. The movie director gives the animators the following table, which shows the approximate heights and times the director wants Winono to pass through after he opens his parachute. Okay, so before he opens his parachute, you've got a squared, what we call quadratic, so it's like a parabola, right? And because it's negative, it's opening up or down? Down, right? So it's kind of going like this, going down towards the ground, okay? Then when he opens the parachute, generally if you watch someone, they're falling fast, they open the parachute, and then it slows them down, right? So they don't smack into the ground. So parachute opens up, slows you down. Then it's going to become more like a straight line than a parabola going down. According to this information, at what height will Winono open his parachute in the movie scene? Your task with your team to find as many ways as you can, with and without your graphing calculator, to determine the height above the river at which Winono opens his parachute. Be sure to analyze tables, graphs, and equations as you work. What is the appropriate domain for each of the functions that describes Winono's descent? How can we use graphs? How can we use tables? How can we use equations? So we're going to use all of it. All right, flip over to the top of page 25. Here's your situation with your group. You're going to sketch a picture of what is happening in this problem in the box below. Be sure to include and label any important information. So here's the bridge way up here, right? He starts going down. Then at some point, he's going to open the parachute and kind of flatten out. So you guys in your team are going to label this even a little better using the information from the previous page. They want to know, one, if you were to graph this information, how would you label the x and y axis? Well, it's sort of done for you. And what would you scale your what would the scale of your x-axis be? What would the scale of your y-axis be? And what is the question asking you to find? Okay. Flip over to page 26. And what did we say we were getting through? 27. Okay. All right. And then on the next page, here's where it wants your tables and equations. says now let's create a table, bless you, an equation for each part of the jump. So right here, we've got before the parachute, and we highlighted an equation on that first page. All I did was transfer that equation right here perfectly. Okay, there's the equation. So what's going to happen at each second? So if you plug in a 0, 0 squared is 0, 0 times negative 4.9 is 0, plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 plus 148 is 148. Okay? Your team gets to plug in 1, write down the answer. Gets to plug in 2, write down the answer. And make sure you follow order of operations, right? You want to square, do the exponent, before you multiply by negative 4.9, right? Yes? Exponents come before multiplication, okay? So fill in that and see what happens. Then you're going to choose a color. Say maybe one of you has a yellow highlighter and one of you has an orange highlighter, or you have a red pen or a blue pen. So pick a color, and then you're going to put it on the graph where these points on your parabola will be, okay? So mine's approximate. Yours is going to be more specific. You're going to put numbers on it that correspond right here, right? Okay. All right. After he pulls the parachute, we're going to need to come up with the equation. So pretend like you're not seeing this. We'll get to this in a minute. And then you're also going to finish up with page 27 that says create a complete graph of Winona's jump. And you're going to use 2 colors just like on the other one, okay? So decide how you want to label the X and Y axis by time and by height, okay?